Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly mindful look at life and finances with a twist. I'm your host, RichE, and gotta send out much love to everyone listening all over the world now. I would have never expected when I started this podcast 3 weeks ago that I would receive the reception that I'm getting. So thank y'all so much for sharing this podcast with your circles. And if you haven't followed me yet on IG, you can connect with me. I'm at Mindfully Rich. So go and follow your girl. So last week on the Me, Myself, and I self-care episode, I talked about how to incorporate self-care into your life, why it's important, and how to make it affordable to your budget. Lots of people DM'd me and commented and told me, thank you for breaking that down. I needed to make sure that I was incorporating self-care, especially now, y'all. Let me tell you, this week I just started meditating and exercising more. So on the meditation side, I didn't tell y'all this, but Oprah is my mentor in my head. And so she has an app with Deepak, and they have a free 21-day trial, and it's called Miraculous Relationships. And child, I be in here with my sage and lavender lit, and I probably meditate for up to 30 minutes in the morning. And what I've started doing, even if I miss a day, if it turns out that I meditate at night, I'm trying to make sure that I still do it, just because nowadays we need to find some type of centering. I mean, it's crazy out here, y'all. And so meditation has been helping me to stay sane and not drive myself like crazy. Now, on the exercise side of self-care, baby, let me tell you, I'm so grateful for all these DJs who've been going live on their Facebook and IG. Yo, I hope once this quarantine season is over, all these DJs, they get all the flowers, all the money that they deserve for their craft, because they have been going off. I gotta shout out a few. Okay, so first, Manny Fresh. Child, he took me back to my radio days in my early 20s when all the music down south was popping. Y'all should have seen me in my living room, twerking, dancing, sweating up a storm. These club quarantine parties gonna have me all together. As soon as I get out the house, your girl gonna be together, okay? So the next one was DJ D93. He's out of Chicago. Child, he is a whole vibe. He did an R&B set. Man, it was a grown and sexy vibe that made me feel like I was back in Chicago. Man, when I tell you I was in here slow whining, everything. I mean, just all together, y'all. And then I stumbled upon this DJ. His name is DJ Young, I believe. He was on Facebook. So my girl China sent me this watch party invite. That's another thing. I like that Facebook is allowing you to send these watch party invites so you can see where they at, where the people are at or whatever. So I stumbled upon him, all of the top rap and R&B, not really too much R&B. It was hip hop and rap more so for DJ Young. His set, his energy, all of that was just, it was just good. It was just, y'all, you just got to go on Facebook, on IG, see who got these club quarantine parties. I'm telling you right now, music can heal the world. So moving on to today's topic, we're going to be talking about debt. And our musical title inspiration comes from the one and only Destiny's Child, Bills, Bills, Bills. Now, instead of directing this song in the direction of like a possible suitor, I'm asking you, can you pay your bills? Can you pay your telephone bill? Can you pay your automobile? If you can, then maybe you could chill. The reason why I picked this topic is because right now we're going into week 3 of quarantining due to COVID-19, and it's really hitting home for a lot of people. And y'all may be wondering, can I pay my bills? One of my favorite memes right now is the one showing the guy staring down Diddy. I don't know if y'all remember that competition. I don't remember what show it was, but they were staring each other down. And the meme was, how people going to be staring down their landlord when the first come for the rent money. And that's real though, because how do you pay something if you don't got it? Like, for real, you can't. So the government just released details on this $2 trillion relief bill that's supposed to be granting stimulus checks, extra unemployment benefits, and student loan deferment freezes. So I want to talk about that. First, let's hit on these checks though. So the question you're probably thinking is, how much money will I receive? Well, the explanation to that is whatever your tax filing was in 2018 will determine how much money you'll receive in your check. So if in 2018 you filed single status, you should receive up to $1,200 just as long as you didn't gross over $75,000. Now, if you made over that amount, your calculation is too complicated for me to do right here on this podcast. You're going to have to head on over to the government site and check that out. And for married couples who filed married in 2018, y'all should receive up to $2,400 if you didn't gross over $99,000 together. Once again, y'all calculation is too complicated if you made over that for me to break down in these 20 little minutes on this podcast. So go on, check that out for yourself. For those of you who have children and you filed them on your tax return back in 2018, y'all should receive $500 per child. Now, if you like me, I split custody with my children's father. 2018 wasn't my year to file, so I'm a little salty right now, but he shall be receiving a call from me so we can go halfsies on those funds that he will be getting back for our children. So the next question most people are thinking is, how should I spend this money? I know the initial thought is, I'm going to pay down debt. I'm going to catch up on my bills. I'm going to pay ahead of time. You know how y'all be thinking. You just always want to just start paying stuff off. I know. But I really want to talk to y'all for a sec about debt. There is no right or wrong way to hold and carry your debt. We take on debt according to our wants and our needs. So at the time of whatever's going on in our life, that's how we obtain debt. There's 3 types of debt that I want to talk to y'all about. You got unsecured, secured, and then you have credit cards. So I want to break those down for y'all a bit. Unsecured loans are personal loans or debt consolidation loans where a financial institution or finance company, they give you money with no strings attached, meaning there's no collateral behind it. So I'm going to give y'all an example. This is when you ask for money and the lender gives you a certain amount and then you have a certain amount of time to pay it back, which is called a term. The second loan type is secured. So many people are familiar with this one because when you're thinking about secured loans, it's mainly our cars, houses, boats, motorcycles. These are the ones, just like personal loans, you pay a monthly payment back. And in that monthly payment, you're paying principal and interest. And that interest rate and the term is normally determined by you and the lender. The last loan debt type is credit cards. Credit cards, you got to think of as they're a loan, but it's also like a line of credit because you receive a limit. You can spend up to that limit. That limit, it belongs to you. But once you reach that limit, of course, you got to pay it down in order for you to be able to, spend any more on that. And these payments are mostly interest that you pay back in your monthly minimum payments. So for y'all wondering what interest means and what principal means, I'm going to break this down to you for a little bit. When you take out a loan, there is principal amount and there is an interest amount. The principal balance is the amount you borrow and the interest is what your lender charges you for you to take out the money. The higher your credit score, the less interest you pay. The lower your credit score, the more interest you'll end up paying. So for example, if you come to me like, yo, RichE, let me hold a G. And I'm like, cool, but I'm going to charge you $20 a month in interest until you pay me back. Then I ask you, how long is it going to take you to pay me back? And you say a year. So in 12 months, you don't just owe me that G that you borrowed. You owe me $1,240. $1,000 is the principal amount and $240 is the interest that you have to pay me for me loaning you the money. So that's loan types and the different ways we take on debt. But debt hits differently depending on what type of debt it is. Now, when I say that, I mean a mortgage. Normally people are cool paying mortgages back because we take out mortgages so we can live in the house that we chose. When we take out car loans, we need cars to get us back and forth. It's our means of transportation. So of course we got to pay that back. And then educational loans. Okay. Now, although I hate student loans, hate student loans, y'all. I just do. And Because student loans suck, I still have to say this. We took the student loans out to pay for our education, to hopefully obtain the degree that we wanted to get, and then hopefully obtain employment in a particular field that required the specific education that we went to school for. These are all loans that take time for you to pay off, and you shouldn't be rushing to pay them off. Relax. As a financial educator, I have people ask me all the time, should I pay off my car in a year? Or do you think I should put extra money on my mortgage so I can pay it off early? I'm always like, why sway? Relax. People have debt. It's okay. If you put all your extra money on your debt, when will you ever be able to build wealth? That's a real question. When will you be able to do that? You took out the loan and you have a specific term. Pay it off then. Stop stressing. Pay it off when it's supposed to be paid off and chill out. This is why you should only take on debt that you can comfortably pay back. Did y'all hear me say that? Comfortably pay back. Debt for the things I just mentioned are natural. Those things come naturally when, we need them. So pay them on the schedule that you were getting. Now, the debt that keeps calling to us late at night, that's the debt that we develop due to our wants. You know the wants, all that stuff that you didn't really need, but you had to get it at the time you had to get it at. Truth be told, most of this debt is incurred on credit cards and personal loans. I can't tell you about something without telling you about how my own personal struggle went with it. All right, boys and girls, pull up a chair. I'm about to tell y'all a story. So I began my separation divorce process in 2015. And when I tell y'all I was broke, I was broke. Now, mind you, I got married at 18 and I had never paid rent, okay? Never paid rent. So in 2015, I was 30, and that's when I began paying rent. And in California, of all places, right? I was the real life mind blown emoji. Like, y'all should have seen me. My rent was literally 3/4 of my paycheck. I was broke. I started taking out credit cards and personal loans just to stay afloat because I didn't know what to do. I had never paid rent before. Like I said, my rent was majority of my paycheck. I didn't know exactly how I was going to stay afloat with me and my kids. So I thought I had it under control. And then I went through this depression. When you sad, you just start going through a depression. And then I started spending more money, taking out credit cards and personal loans, just to try to prove my self-worth, but I'm still sad. It was crazy. So because my wants started exceeding my paycheck, I started cheating on my bank account with my credit cards. And I was out here spending more money than I could afford. I got to the point where I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. Y'all know the saying. And I was to the point where I was spending up to the limit on my credit cards just to pay the bill, just to turn right around and use the credit card again. I mean, it was really, really bad, y'all. So I got myself into this debt hole. And I had to figure out a way, how do I get myself out of this? Because I came to a point where I was like, we cannot continue to live like this. So what I did was I used my debt to my advantage to gain a more manageable debt. So what I mean is I restructured the debt to make it more manageable for me to pay and make it a lower amount for me to be able to afford each month. So this is what I did. I had 3 or 4 credit cards that I had ran up to about $15,000. I know, y'all. I can cry just sitting here thinking about it, right? Now, some of those expenses was associated with going through the divorce, but a lot of that was dealing with all of the depression that I was going with and extra spending. So on those 3 or 4 credit cards, that was $15,000. I was paying over $500 a month, right? So I decided to take out a debt consolidation loan, which is a personal loan, to pay off those credit cards. And so I put the debt from those credit cards onto the personal loan. So that was a $15,000 loan. So I no longer had the 4 credit cards with all that high interest that I was paying each month. Instead, I now had one loan payment that was almost $200 lower than what I was paying for the credit cards. I looked it up, and my payment on that personal loan was $334. So it was a $15,000 personal loan. I was paying back $334 a month for 5 years. That was my term. This saved me so much money and made it more controllable for me to handle this debt that I had. That was me digging myself out of the debt hole that I had. That was my way out. So I turned the debt into more manageable debt. So going back to these stimulus checks, how should you spend it? Think of this. This check is extra money. You wasn't counting on receiving this money. So right now, this money should be saved. I know a lot of y'all looking at me like, girl, do you know how much stuff I need to pay? I get it. I understand it. But this is money that you wasn't supposed to get in the first place. It's money that's unexpected. So look at it like that. Right now, we're in this pandemic. Everything is uncertain. We don't know what's happening next, right? I mean, it ain't safe. If it was a thing from the song, right now is it ain't safe. This is what right now is classified as, okay? So, but the one thing we do know is no one's lights are getting cut off. No one's phone is getting cut off. And because most companies are allowing, deferments and allowing you to make payment arrangements due to this pandemic, you should take advantage of that. So now, by no means am I telling y'all don't pay your bills. What I'm saying is it's time to call all of your billers and make payment arrangements and play Let's Make a Deal. Since Congress has passed a bill where student loans can be froze up to 6 months, child, y'all better be calling your student loan issuers and seeing what you can do, seeing if you can pause those things. I believe for the federal loans, they're not even charging interest on them too. Shoot, that is awesome. Y'all need to call. For those of you who have student loans, call these student loan issuers, especially the federal ones, and see about getting them paused for 6 months. Also, right now, financial institutions and lenders as a whole, they're allowing up to 3 months for deferments. So that means 3 months without having to pay your bill. And get this, they're not reporting any late payments to the credit bureaus. So normal payments are due every 30 days. So right now, due to everything that's going on, if they're not paid every 30 days, they're still not reporting. Now, what I will tell you is you need to get with your specific loan carrier and make sure that that's a thing for you. I know here in California, it's a thing. You have to ask your loan issuer, because I don't want y'all to say, RichE told me to do it. Call your loan issuer and see. But I do know, according to the bill that Congress passed, this should be a thing. I'm telling y'all all this to say, take advantage of all of the non-payment times and deferments being offered right now to you instead of trying to spend all your little extra money from this stimulus check on them. Sit down with yourself or your significant other and write out everything you owe and start calling each lender and asking for these deferments or plans, forgiveness, payment arrangements, whatever it is. We ain't got nothing but time on our hands right now. You can do it. Make the best of this time. Plan out your repayment in the future, but right now, take advantage of every single thing that's being given to you. For those of you wondering what a deferment is, let me tell you how it works. So when you defer a loan, a lender basically takes that payment that you were supposed to pay and moves it to the back of your loan. So if, for example, if you have a car loan and your term remaining is 3 years, which is 36 months, if you go 3 months without paying, they move those 3 payments to the back of the loan. So instead of having 36 months to pay your loan off, you now have 39 months because remember, 3 of those months you went without any payment. Now, I know that was a lot of information that we've been talking about. So let's go ahead and recap. First, don't spend your stimulus check trying to play catch up on any of your bills. Instead, call your utility, loan billers, and any lenders to see what skip-a-pay, deferment, or payment plan options they're offering during this time for your repayment. Take them up on this offer. Y'all don't know when we will ever have a time like this again, okay? Seriously, take them up on the offer. Understand where you're at right now. You probably don't want to be taken up on any additional debt right now. You just don't. It's just not a good idea. So make sure you control any online spending that's going on while you're stuck in the house. I know it's easy to get on Amazon and start spending or whatever your place of choice is. When you can get your needs and your wants, mainly your wants, under control, then you're able to control your debt levels, okay? Woo! I'm tired. That was a lot of information. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to something lighter. So I'm going to tell y'all about the songs that I'm feeling this week. Jonathan McReynolds has a song called No Gray that I cannot stop listening to. This song has such a vibe to it. I just absolutely love it. William McDowell's You Are Here and Marvin Sapp's Perfect Peace. Y'all, I just been in one of those moods where like the gospel has been coming out of me. Like we are in unprecedented times, and I have just been in one of those moods where I need to feel that praise and worship going on. So those are the songs that I'm playing right now. So the shows that I'm feeling this week is Boomerang and 20s on BET. It's getting too good, y'all. I love these shows. And the first season of Boomerang, I was like, but this season is really good. My favorite characters so far are Lala Milan and Ari. I know that is not Lala's name on the show. I forgot it, but that's who I like. Okay, their personalities are everything. And on Lena Waithe's new show, 20s, baby, it's fire. I believe they're on episode 5 right now. And man, I'm over here like, hurry up with the next one. You know, we in the house. So I'm just sitting here like, release them now. Hattie is my favorite character. And I'm telling you, I called that Hattie and Ida B, they was going to get closer. I knew that Marie's husband was bi. Marie didn't know it though. And also, all I can say is Amon guest starred on this last episode. And surprisingly, he was a good actor, but when I tell you he was flirting with Marie, woo, y'all probably like, who is these characters? You got to go watch it and go see. And also, Nia and Big Sean character, they a whole vibe. They so cute. Oh my goodness, y'all got to go check out that show. So next, what's grinding my gears? I'm tired of all the sad news on the internet. Right now, I'm going to need all y'all internet people and people reporting stories. I need y'all to report on more than just death. I need to hear about what's going on good. Y'all making me anxious and I ain't got time for it. But I still know that my Lord is on the throne, so I'm going to stay calm. Okay, so this week, I'm still grateful that me and my children are safe. We're not inflicted with any illnesses, and we good over here, you know, and I'm looking forward to greatness and happiness in my life. Not saying I'm not happy right now, but I was just telling my friends the other day that, you know, with all the crazy stuff still happening right now, I still feel like I'm in my love season. I'm in my relationship season, and something good is going to happen to me. So, you know, I'm just waiting on whatever good is trying to happen, and I'm, you know, just allowing it to come into my life. Right now, I am love, and I am attracting love into my life. So thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on IG. I'm at Mindfully Rich. And until next week, when I hit y'all with another one.